Hey everybody, it's Stacy Turner again from Concerned Citizens for Artesia. I have Kristy Crockett here and I wanted to introduce her to you and for you to get to know her. She is running for the Artesia School Board as well. So Kristy, tell us a little bit about yourself, like how long you've been in Artesia, anything about your family.
Oh, fine. I've been in Artesia almost 38 years. I've been here since I was 3 months old. So I was born and raised in Artesia. I am a graduate of Artesia High School. I did move away for a while, college. Got to leave town to go to college. There's not one here. But I came back here. This is home, and this is where we wanted to raise our kids. I married another local, which is where I get my wonderful last name that most people recognize. And I've I love Artesia, and I love our schools, and I love our kids, and I don't see me ever leaving here.
That's awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your background.
So I graduated here in the top of my class. I by far was not the person that was supposed to graduate in the top of my class. Uh, I went on to college. I have a few college degrees behind me, not because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, but I love education. I love learning. I love the art of learning. And I wanted to just absorb more and as much as I possibly could. And I'm glad I did now because those things have benefited me in life and in future and this as well as being able to run for school board. I have degrees in science. I have degrees in accounting. I have degrees in business management. So I think it's a really good encompassing ability to put into a school board position.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of skill sets within that and just experience too. So that's great. How many kiddos do you have? What grade are they? How old?
I have two kids. I have my oldest is a freshman at the junior high. It's kind of hard to realize that I am old enough to have a kid that's fixing to be driving. And then I also have a first grader who attends Central Elementary School.
Okay, so a good
Big
distance between that.
Yeah. Big gap.
Our oldest turns 20 this weekend, which is crazy.
Wow.
And we did ours all together, 3 kids in 3 years. So
yeah, there's almost 8 years between mine. So
yeah,
that's was a lot
good though, because you've got the perspective of junior high, right, at Park, and then elementary school, and it's very different.
It is very different. My kids go to school. The world that they live in is not the same. The things that my daughter puts up with and the things that my son can walk around with a chin diaper and nobody really says anything about his mask. My daughter, on the other hand, can't even scratch her nose without somebody telling her to put her mask back up. So the worlds are very different. The schools are very different, and how the kids interact are very different.
And I think that's something that we all need to remember. Like, just because I have older kids in high school doesn't mean it looks the same for the elementary schools. So that's a good reminder. Thank you for that. So school board positions aren't the most popular thing to do right now.
No,
so
they're not. They're under attack, and they're voluntary. I mean, most people don't realize most elected offices have some kind of pay. School board members don't. It's a completely volunteer situation. So they voluntarily subject themselves.
Right. So why did you volunteer?
Why am I subjecting myself?
Yeah.
I always make a joke that it is time for me to put my mouth where my Facebook is, or my Facebook where my mouth is. Sitting on Facebook complaining about what our schools are doing or not doing isn't going to get us anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I decided it was time to stand up. It was time to take a stand. Went through it a lot. I prayed about it for a long time. And ultimately I get in the car and Do Something comes on, and that's why I made you, is to do something. If not you, then who?
Yeah.
And I really believe that as a parent, I can bring a different perspective. I'm not going to say that anybody on the school board has the wrong direction or doesn't love our schools or doesn't love our community or our students. I really believe that they truly have the heart for what they do, but I don't know that they have the perspective. They're not seeing what this is doing to kids.
Yeah.
They're not seeing what it's doing to their futures and what it's doing to households day to day. I am running in District 2, which is kind of the east side of town. I run from about Paris, right around Roselawn Manor, north, all the way up into Kemp, around Head Start, over towards 7th Street and down Mahone. I cover a lot of that. I cover a lot of Chisholm, over into the 1200 block. So some parts of my jigsaw puzzle piece drop closer to 13th Street. And some parts only go to 7th Street. But I basically have everything around Roselawn Manor, around Brown Drug, Central Park. I encompass all of that. I encompass every house that's around the high school, but not the high school itself. There's like this funny jigsaw puzzle piece that cuts the high school out. I have everything on the one-way, both sides of the one-way. I have every house around Roselawn. I have every house around the Catholic Church, Guadalupe Park, the community center. I go from 7th Street up around Head Start. I have all those. And then I have this weird piece. I pick up from Mill Road and I go all the way out to Jackson, from the Lake Arthur Highway all the way to 13th. And then I have this other weird piece that drops across the highway, and I take from Compress all the way down to Halderman and all the way back into town to the highway on Main Street, going right in front of the Navajo refinery. So if Navajo could vote, no, Navajo would be in my district.
Okay, that's interesting. So I'm not from Artesia. We've only lived here about 4 years. So some of those names I know of those streets. But for those of you that don't know, we're District 3, correct?
District 2.
Sorry, District 2. We're going to put a link in the comments of this video so that you can find what district you're in, because that's really important when you come to vote. So Kristy, Ben and I had kind of discussed, it's been years since anyone as a parent has been on the school board. Yes. And you kind of alluded to that. So I love that you would be representing the parents. Parents are the ones that vote the school board, and they're the ones that make the policies. And that's really an important aspect. When is the election, and where's a good place for the people in your District 2 to vote?
So election early voting and absentee voting has already began. You can continue to do that through, I believe, October 30th. Is it? Yeah, 30th, which is a Saturday. It's a Saturday right before Halloween. And then general election is November 2nd. The only place right now for absentee and early voting, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is at the county clerk's office, which is in the same building as the DMV right across the street from Pecos Diamond, which is in my district. It's close to where I live, actually.
Okay, so on the 2nd, if they want to go in person, that's where they will go vote.
Yeah, they can go vote there. And I believe at that point, you will also be able to vote at the senior center and possibly Faith Baptist. That's when all the polling locations will start to open just for that day. But keep in mind, you can early vote on weekends. You do not have to wait for November 2nd. They are staying open till about 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and they are open on Saturdays.
Very good. Now, you have to be a registered voter. So if you're not registered, you still have time. Even that day, you can get registered. And so I just want to encourage parents, we cannot just fuss on Facebook. Like
no, we have to put our Facebook. We got to go vote. You got to put your ballot where your Facebook's at.
Right. And this is our way as parents to have a choice in what's happening with our kids. And of course, we encourage you to come to the school board meetings and speak up. That's super important too. So thank you so much, Kristy, for your time today. And thank you for sharing your viewpoint. And we will all be cheering for you November 2nd, District 2, Kristy Crockett. She's your girl. So thank you again for coming.
Thank you.